The Night Domain Cleric is a really fun modded subclass of the Cleric that you can check out right now on PC and console. So let's go over it. We're going to level by level, combat tutor, and all the items you could need. So of course we start with the Cleric. Now this will give you a bunch of cantrips and spells, but what we get from this is the main spells: Wisdom saving throw proficiency, Charisma saving throw proficiency, Simple, Morningstar, Light Armor, Medium Armor, and Shield proficiencies. For cantrips, we're going to take Resistance, we're going to take Guidance, and we're going to take Sacred Flame. And then for your domain, the Night. You wield the mysterious darkness of night to protect others from threat, or as a shroud for your own wrongdoing. This will give you Eye of Twilight. A divine blessing grants you the ability to see more clearly in the dark. You have dark vision out to a range of 18 meters. Ward of Shadows. Shield yourself with divine shadows. Use your reaction to impose disadvantage on an attacker, possibly causing them to miss their attack. This is huge, especially early game. We gain Sleep as a spell, and Veil of Dusk. Cloak yourself or an ally in a shadowy veil of darkness and silence, granting them a +1 bonus to their armor class and advantage on stealth checks. This is until long rest and concentration based. For your ability points, we're going to have 8 strength, 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 10 intelligence, 16 wisdom, and 10 charisma. For your proficiencies, take whatever fits your roleplay. Cleric level 2 unlocks our Channel Divinity charge. We also gain Turn Undead and Invocation of Night. Now this does cost a Channel Divinity charge, and essentially you harness the power of the night, clouding the vision of all your foes in a shroud of darkness. All mundane and magical lights are extinguished. Enemies within the radius are possibly blinded for a number of rounds equal to your level in this class. A creature blinded this way gets a new saving throw at the end of each of its turn to remove the effect, ending it early on a success. For spells here, we're going to take Command, Inflict Wounds, Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, and Cure Wounds. And that brings us to Cleric level 3, where we gain more spells we can choose from. We also gain Moonbeam and Darkness as always prepared spells. For a spell here, we're going to add Spiritual Weapon, a nice little bonus action spell to give us a summon. Cleric level 4 unlocks our first feat. We also gain one more cantrip, and for this we're going to take Toll the Dead. And then for your feat, we're going to bump our wisdom from 16 to 18. For a spell here, we're going to take Hold Person. This is an incredible spell, really nice way of just controlling the battlefield. Cleric level 5 brings us Destroy Undead. So when you turn an undead successfully, they'll also take 4 to 24 radiant damage. We also gain some other awesome abilities such as Grant Fly and Fear, which will always be prepared in our spellbook. For spells here, we're going to take Spirit Guardians. I think this is a must-have for any cleric, and Mass Healing Word. Cleric level 6 brings us another Channel Divinity charge. We also get improved Eye of Twilight, so now our dark vision is up to 37 meters, and improved Ward of Shadows. So when an enemy attacks an ally, you can use your reaction to wrap it in protective shadows, imposing disadvantage on the attack roll. This is now just an improved version of it. For a spell here, we're going to take the Glyph of Warding. This is an awesome damage dealer, and more importantly, it's not concentration based. Clerics and bards are very heavy in the concentration based spells, so we've got a nice little damage dealer with no concentration. Cleric level 7 unlocks 4th level spell slots. We also gain Stellar Bodies. So we create 2 small stars that orbit around you. They'll deal 1 to 8 radiant damage to melee attackers. As an additional action, we can cause a star to streak towards an enemy, expending it as it explodes in a flash that will deal 4 to 32 radiant damage and possibly blind a target. This is always prepared, and this is an awesome ability. We also have Greater Invisibility. For a spell here, we are going to take the Guardian of Faith, another nice little summon that you can just get on the battlefield. It lasts up to 10 turns, but you won't get 10 turns out of it. It's very unrealistic to expect that. Cleric level 8 brings our second feat. We also get an Eye of Twilight Dark Sight. A Divine Blessing grants you the ability to see more clearly in dark. You can see normally in both magical and non-magical darkness to a range of 24 meters. We also have Veil of Dreams, so you gain mastery over magical sleep. You may cast a unique version of sleep with a greater increased hit point threshold. Furthermore, creatures put to sleep using this sleep spell cannot be woken up until the start of your next turn. And if we come in here, it's now up to 38 hit points. For your ability improvement, you probably guessed it, but we're going to max our wisdom out at 20. And for a spell here, we're going to take Banishment. Cleric level 9 brings our 5th level spell slots. We also gain Seeming, and Dispel Evil and Good as always prepared spells. For spells here, we're now going to add Flame Strike. I love this as a damage dealer. It's fire and radiant damage, which is awesome. And we're going to add Mass Cure Wounds because we are still a Cleric. Cleric level 10 brings Divine Intervention. Now this is a once and done ability, once per playthrough. You cannot use it ever again. We also gain a cantrip, and for this one we're going to take Bursting Sinew. We gain one more spell at this point, so we're going to take Greater Restoration. Touch a creature and negate any charm, petrification, stun, or curse afflicting it. Cleric level 11 unlocks 6th level spell slots. Now, for this, we only get one 6th level spell slot. I think the best one to take is Planar Ally. Hero's Feast, really good option as well. I just think Planar Ally, having another summon on the battlefield, is awesome. And then Cleric level 12 is our final level. We gain a new feat as well. For the feat, we are going to be taking Alert. And then for a spell here, you can kind of take whatever you want, really, because, as I said, my option would be Planar Ally. But if you want to take Hero's Feast, you could. If you want to take Heal, you could. If you want to take Harm, you could. Really is dealer's choice for this last spell slot. If you are happy with Planar Ally, then of course you can come down here and take a lower level spell. You can always upcast, like a Prayer of Healing, Aid, Lesser Restoration, something like that. Okay, let's go over our equipment, and we start with the Browbeaten Circlet. So when we're threatened, we'll have a +1 bonus to our spell save DC. The Cloak of Displacement, when we wear this, it will activate at the beginning of our turn, granting enemies disadvantage on attack rolls against us. This, paired with Darkness, is awesome. We can take the Evasive Shoes to give us a +1 to our Acrobatics and Armour class. The UNT Scale Mail, the reason I suggest this is there is something like the Armour of Agility, but both of these have exotic materials. I would save the Armour of Agility for a Dexter-based character, like a Ranger, like a Rogue, that you can use it on, get more out of it. The UNT Scale Mail, medium armour, you gain a +3, it will do the job. We'll also gain a +1 to our Initiative. For gloves, the Legacy of Masters, strength saving throws +1 and a +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls with weapons. The Ring of Twilight, so while we're obscured, we'll gain a +1 bonus to our armor class. The Burnish Ring to give us use of Paralysing Ray. The Moondrop Pendant, so if we have 50% hit points or less, we won't provoke opportunity attacks. The Handmaiden's Mace, now what's awesome about this is it has poison damage on it, and it will set our strength to 23, which means we can now use a pretty good weapon, or we can focus back on using a dex weapon, and choice is yours. I think this is awesome though. And Viconia's Walking Fortress. Now you can take any shield really that you like the improvements of, or you like the armor class added of. I just think having Reflective Shell is incredible, and it's a +3 to your AC, sitting us at 23. Now, the first thing we are going to do is we are going to use our 6th level spell slot and summon the Planar Ally. And there's so many options. You have a Dingini, a Deva, or a Cambion. All are really awesome. I usually go with the Deva, but I'm going to show off the Dingini for once. So we'll get this going. And I think that just fits the whole Night Cleric theme a lot better. So with that being said, let's go find some combat and check this out. Okay, now remember we have our Veil of Dusk, so we can do this and it'll give a +1 to AC, as well as advantage on stealth checks. So let's put this on our Rogue. And there you go, they've now got a nice little +1 to their AC we can now use to survive a little longer in combat. Okay, you can see we're in the combat, so the first thing we are going to do is we're going to get our spiritual weapon. We'll do this at 2nd level and we'll just summon it here. Now remember, like I said, a cleric, lots of their things are concentration based, but what we can do is Invocation of Night. This will cost a Channel Divinity and we can sort of just place this here. And you'll see we have blinded everyone in the area, which is really, really solid, because now, if we move up close, we will be able to start attacking on our next round, and you'll see this is blinded for 12 turns, because that's our level cap. You'll see the enemy can't see anything, and the blind with 2 misses there coming in very helpful. And that brings us to our Dingini. Now the Dingini is awesome, it has so many cool things like Sweet Plum Gales, it's got a Drunken Inhale, Shifting Winds. So let's do a Shifting Wind, and we'll teleport up here. Yeah, right here will do. And now we're in prime position, we can smack if we want to, we can do our Sweet Plum Gale, we can do a Drunken Inhale, but we'll just do a very base attack for now. And you'll see we pump out some pretty solid damage as well as acid damage, or poison damage I should say, on top. Okay, our spiritual weapon can of course come in here and do some damage, so let's send them to attack the barbarian. And I've done a solid 9 damage. Now remember we have our ability of stellar bodies, so we're going to get this going. And there you go, and you'll notice it isn't concentration based, which is amazing. Because that means we can still do something like Spirit Guardians as well and have extra sort of like close radius damage. And as a bonus action we can just come in here if we want to and give ourselves a little heal. Just top ourselves up ready for the next round. You'll see our Dingini gets a nice little opportunity attack. The other ability our Dingini has is Drunken Inhale, so if we do this, you'll see we've done a bunch of poison damage to the enemy and we pulled them in. And of course if we need to, we could shift in winds again and teleport up here for example. Some pretty good options. You'll see every time the enemy attacks us, taking that radiant damage. And then once again, our spiritual weapon come in here, cause a little bit of chaos, just like that. Now of course we can throw out darkness because we are a Night Cleric. So you see, we have darkness going, but we aren't blinded thanks to our abilities. And once again, if we want to, we could do a healing word, we could do a reflective shell, we can even send out our shrieking star. So if we wanted to, we could send this, we'll do it towards the barbarian, and there you go, blinding him once again, and 18 damage. Now we also have the ability, we can do a gale, and we can restrain enemies within if they fail. Just like that. And once again, our spiritual weapon, come in here, get a nice attack off, just like that. Now you see, we're in our darkness, but like I said, we still have vision. So if we were to do a level 3 guiding bolt, for example, you'll see there is no penalty to us doing that. And of course, we can come in here, mass healing word, and heal all our allies. So we're still a cleric, but we can really utilise the night and the dark to our advantage. You see, nice restrain there. And of course, from here, we can still do our very base attack. Get some huge damage with the Dingini going. Now let's just do a very base attack so you can see our damage output. And there you go, you see 13 damage with some poison damage on top. And we can run back within our darkness. Now our Dingini also has a Thunder Wave, so we can do this and really blast enemies. Really awesome ability. You see the enemy just unable to do anything here because they can't see us. So we've really got them in a nice little choke point here, to the point where we can come in here. We could do a 3rd level guiding bolt, which unfortunately missed. And once again, we can do another Thunder Wave if we want, try and push the enemies into the abyss just like that, just totally get rid of them. And then we can come down here, we can shifting wind, and get ourselves set up to attack the enemy from behind over here. Now of course we still got our other spells like Inflict Wounds, so if we upcast this to level 4, you can see it pumps out a huge amount of damage. Now the other ability we have is the very special version of Sleep. So we can do this and we can target people up to a certain amount of hit points depending on what we choose. So let's go for 54 hit points just to make sure we put everyone to sleep. And there we go. Everyone is now in a deep sleep and they will not be awoken until the start of our next turn. As you can see there. Which means we can come in here and we'll take Skeeve here and we can just get some nice crits. And of course, we're still a cleric, like I keep saying, so we can do our cantrips such as Toll the Dead and get some huge damage going. So the Night Cleric is really awesome. You can put yourselves in darkness to just protect yourself. You have the Radiant Stars, which you can pair really nicely with things like Spirit Guardians. Get yourself a summon like the Dingini. And overall, you can just put people to sleep, get a round of healing in if you need to, set yourselves up into the correct positions, get away from danger. Lots of awesome fun things. So we hope you enjoyed the Night Cleric mod. If you have, please drop the episode a like. It helps me tremendously, and check the mod out. If you're ready, please subscribe to the channel for more. I've got more guides to Baldur's Gate, to Dragon Age, to Expedition 33, Oblivion, Elden Ring, Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers, all the amazing RPGs you could ever need. And hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.